Welcome to the Marketing Nomad Show, the fun pit stop for all your marketing needs to grow your online business to consistent 5K months and beyond. I'm your host, Prit, and I usually talk about online marketing strategies, social media, and I also do share a little bit about my entrepreneurial journey as a business owner, online coach, and a membership owner. If you are an online coach looking for simple, implementable marketing strategies to grow your business, then you've come to the right place. Now let's hop on to today's episode. Welcome back to the Marketing Nomad Show. For those of you who are new, I'm the Marketing Nomad. You can also call me Prit. Alright guys, in today's episode, we're going to talk about 7 tips to build a global personal brand. And before we get into the tips, we're also going to talk a little bit about why it is so important for us as online coaches to build on our personal brand. Alright, this is episode number 29 of the Marketing Nomad Show. Now, if you've stumbled upon this podcast episode or even this video on YouTube, I'd like to give you a small introduction of who I am and what this podcast is all about, okay? So I am basically a marketing strategist. I help online coaches to implement simple and easy marketing strategies to grow their online coaching business to 5K months and beyond. I upload podcast episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I usually talk about marketing strategy. I talk about social media strategy, and I also share bits of my entrepreneurial journey as well. Now, each of these podcast episodes can also be found on YouTube, where I actually share how I look and how I speak on YouTube as well. So I'll put all the links in the description box below. You can, feel free to listen on any of the popular podcast platforms, or you can actually view this entire video on YouTube as well. So all the links will always be below. Okay. Now, episode number 29. Let's get started, guys. 7 tips to build a personal global I don't know what I just said. 7 tips to build a global personal brand, okay? Now, before we, get into the tips, I do want to point out that it is important for us as entrepreneurs to build on our personal brand. And I say the word build and not create because each one of us, by default, okay, we do already have a personal brand. Whether you know it or not, you have something that identifies you as you, that makes people say, oh well, that's so like her. Okay, so you already do have a personal brand. However, as an online coach, as an entrepreneur, you need to build on this personal brand. You need to kind of magnify it so that people, on a broader sense, associate you with something, with yourself, with your personality, with your mission, with your goals, and all of those things. So in this day and age, as of 2021, okay, and this has been, pretty much long time coming, we as a business owner, we need to be able to show up as ourselves. We need to build on our personal brand because that is the essence of our business, okay? That is what is going to make people convert. That is what is going to make people go with you, especially when there's so much competition around us, okay? So your personal brand is going to be that factor for your audience to say, okay, I want to choose her. Well, because her personality matches with mine, her core values matches with mine, I associate myself with this person, so I'm going to go with this person. And as a marketer, I also do want to tell you that people's purchasing decisions are always emotional. Even the most logical one, the ones that people use numbers and figure out, okay, well, I need to buy this because it's of this cost and the profit and loss and all of those things. Even the most logical purchase decisions are based on emotions. And this is one of the fundamental facts about marketing. So in order for people to make their decision about joining your course or choosing you as their online coach, there needs to be emotions in place. And how do we, build on those emotions? It's by you building your personal brand, okay? It's by you putting yourself out there and showing up as yourself. So it's one of the most important things for an online coach, and especially because you are an online coach, 95% of the time, I'm just going to throw out a number over there, but majority of the time, your audience has not met you in person, right? I mean, there's a reason that you are an online coach, okay? You're not an in-person coach. So for them to build that trust that, okay, this person knows exactly what they're talking about and they are going to help me, you need to be able to build your personal brand so that they can trust that you will be able to handle their needs, you'll be able to provide the solution that they are looking for, okay? So all of those things are actually reasons why you need to build and you need to start focusing on building your personal brand. And if you take a look at people from different industries, not necessarily online coaches, entrepreneurs basically of this day and age, Elon Musk, Ariana Huffington, people connect with people. The reason why we are so in awe of their brands is because we know them as them. They have a very, very strong personal brand presence, and that's how we associate their brand with them. And because we are so emotionally connected with these individual entrepreneurs, we are invariably connected with their brand as well, okay? So it helps to build that trust, it helps to build that authority, and that's what we're looking for as an online coach, okay? So let's get into what you guys are here for, and that is, 7 tips to build your global personal brand. Okay guys, let's get started. Now, the first tip that I do have for you is you need to figure out what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. And I've said this before, I've said this even in my tribe as well. If your reason for why you're doing is, oh, well, I want to earn consistent 5K months, or I want to earn 10K months, or I want to take this vacation that I've been planning for God alone knows how long, then you need to take all of those reasons and throw it out of the window. There needs to be a substantial reason behind what you're doing, and there needs to be a why behind what you're doing. Something that is driving you. What is your passion? Why are you helping the people that you are helping with your online coaching business? So once you understand what your mission is, what your vision is, what your values are as a person, and also in extension of that for your business, you will be able to figure out what I call as your story, your brand story. And the minute you get your brand story figured out, your mission, your values, your vision, all of them, all of those things that make you do what you do, it is so powerful, guys. If you take a look at any business out there, there's always a story behind why they started out, why they do what they do, and how they help people. And that is what we need to bring forward from you as well, building your brand story, okay? And this not only extends only to online coaching, but any business out there as well, okay? There needs to be a story behind it, something that is powerful, something that gives you a reason for why you do what you do. For example, for me, I don't know if you guys know this story. I don't think I've talked about it on this podcast before, but I was unable to convert my student visa into a work visa when I was in the US, and unfortunately I had to come back to India. I mean, it was not unfortunate, but given the circumstances, I was heartbroken because I think that people feel that you need to be in a specific country, in a specific job, earning a certain amount for you to be considered a success, or for you to go in that route of success. So when I came to India, of course I was heartbroken, but at the same time, being here helped me realize that there is no one country, there is no one place, there is no one job that is going to take me to the route of success. I am going to create and make my own path of success, regardless of where I am in the world. And for me, that is my mission, to help other online coaches out there to find their success wherever they are in the world, okay? Doing what they love, doing what they want to do. And that is the mission behind what I'm doing. And I also realized through my journey that, despite having an educational background in business and marketing and whatnot, and being exposed to business from a very young age, because both my parents are entrepreneurs, I still struggled with, setting up my business, setting up the marketing strategies for my business and stuff like that, because it is very unique. This online coaching business, it's pretty unique when you are setting up your marketing strategies and stuff like that. So I wanted to make sure that I was helping as many online coaches out there with their own marketing strategies, because
it is hard, it is different, it is difficult, and I wanted them to have as much success as they could. And especially when you're starting out by yourself. It's really hard, guys. And I wanted to support them in this journey and be as helpful as I could. So that is my brand mission, and a lot of people out there who follow me align with me because of my brand mission, because they know that in every action that I do take, any tip that I give, any podcast episode, I'm always aimed at helping make their life easy when it comes to their professional life, okay, when it comes to their business, okay? So that is my story, guys. That is my story. And my vision is to make sure that people know that you don't have to be in a specific place or a specific job to be successful. You can do what you want, you can do what you love, and you can be successful doing what you love. And that is my vision. That is my end goal, to find as many online coaches as possible doing what they do, being successful at what they love doing. And a lot of people align with this, and that is why they follow me on different platforms and stuff like that. And those are the values that I bring to the table as well. Professionalism, authenticity, being raw, those are also my core values, and that is what I bring to the table. The energy that I have, the selfless dedication that I have to my mission. So those are my values, and a huge reason why people are part of my tribe is because they resonate with my values, my vision, my mission, okay? And it's very powerful, guys. So I really want you guys to take some time today, sit down and think through why you're doing what you're doing. What triggered this? There's always a trigger point, guys. There's always that moment in your life where you struggled with something, you overcame it, and that's why you want to help people with what they're doing. So figure out that trigger moment in your life, figure out why you're doing what you're doing, and get your story out there. Make sure that people know why you're doing what you're doing. So that's also super important, guys. Okay? So take some time, write down your story. For me, I actually do have a written, it's kind of like a journal entry, but I took, a few sheets of A4 paper, and then I just started writing why I do what I do, and that is something that's precious to me, that helps me remind, because during this journey as an online, I'm gonna sidetrack a bit, but along this journey, okay, as an online business owner, it's gonna get rough, guys. It's gonna get so rough, and at some points, you're gonna forget why you're doing what you're doing. In my whole almost 2-year journey, more than that, I think it's been a little bit more than 2 years, but throughout my journey as well, there have been times where I've forgotten why I do what I do. Maybe because of external circumstances or my own internal mindset blocks, and just having the story in my hand has helped me refocus and realign with where I need to be. And it's, even if my business sidetracks a little bit, this story of mine always pushes it back on track, and that is so important, guys. So understanding who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, your vision, your mission, so important. So figure out your story. Sit down today, take a few minutes, and figure out your story, and make sure you're telling people your story. Don't just hide it and just keep it for yourself. People need to know, because they need to resonate with your story as well. That was number 1, guys. The second one is identifying, what do you want to be known for, okay? Do you want to be known, in my case, do you want to be known as a marketing strategist who makes things simple for you? Do you want to be known as a fitness coach who's funny? Do you want to be known as a wealth coach who's practical, or a manifestation coach who's also practical, or a mindset coach who's, maybe a wealth coach who's also spiritual? What is it that you want to be known as? And once you figure that out, it becomes so much more easier for you to keep putting out things out there, like your posts, you showing up on your stories, or you making your website in a certain way. The minute you figure out what you want to be known for, it's so much more easier. Those things just start aligning. You start figuring out what to post. You start figuring out what is the marketing language, or the kind of tone that you want to use for your website. Or you start figuring out how you want to show up on your stories. Do you want to give spiritual tips over there? Do you want to show your personality, show your fun side, or show your serious side, whatever it is? Okay, so what is it that you want to be known for? Figuring that out is the number 2 point, and that is also super key. Number 3 is you need to define your audience. You need to understand Who are you, helping at the end of the day? Who do you want to attract? Why would they be invested in what you have to offer? These are all very, very important questions that you need to ask yourself, and you need to figure out as well. Okay, so it's a process, guys. It's gonna take you 30 minutes to listen to this entire podcast episode, but you have to take more time for you to figure out each one of these. So what I recommend doing is pausing this podcast episode after each point and figuring it out as you go along this podcast episode. Take some time, take a few days to actually listen to this podcast episode, take it break by break. I think that would be an easier way to go about this podcast episode. I think I should have mentioned it when we first started out. I might actually just put a disclaimer out there. I record it later and put a disclaimer in the beginning. Okay, so the third point is to define your audience, okay? Few questions you can ask yourself at this point is, what personality do you want to attract? Okay, who does this person look like? Okay, their physical features, their mindset, their thought process, what they wear, how they dress, how they think, where they go, what magazines do they read, which websites do they frequently visit. These are all important questions that you can ask yourself at this point. Who are they as a person? Are there any specific life events that they have been through that has caused them to say, okay, yes, I want this product, or I want this coaching service? So you need to figure out those things as well. Why would they be invested in you, okay? So maybe there's something quirky about your personality that they like as well. So they would be invested in you because they're curious about you. They're curious about that fun, quirky side. Maybe they like formal, professional people. So maybe that's the kind of personality that you want to lead with. So why would they be invested in you is also a good starting point for you as well, okay? Number 4 is you need to figure out your personality, which is what we did, in the first step, okay? You need to fuse that personality with your brand. And this is really, it is challenging, but if you are authentic, if you are absolutely raw, and you are pretty confident of what your personality is, it becomes that much more simpler to fuse it into your brand, okay? For example, I'll give you an example, and I think it might be easier for you to relate as well. For me, my personality is that I'm fun, I'm quirky, I have a lot of energy in me, as you guys can see, with the way I keep jumping around and stuff like that. And that's what I infuse into my brand, okay? My website, it's colorful, it's got all these fun words, there are jokes here and there, designed to make you laugh and stuff like that. So that's how I infuse my personality into my brand. So yeah, my website, it's fun, it's quirky, and it has jokes, it kind of makes you laugh sometimes, and it's very, very colloquial. That is my style, that is my personality. I write the way I talk. Okay, and even if you are seeing my Instagram posts or you are seeing anywhere else, LinkedIn or wherever, that is my personality trait that I carry out. That is my brand. That is what my courses are. And even in the Insta-Savvy tribe, I do make jokes as I am dealing with the course, and there's fun, it's energy. Even in our tribe huddles, the Q&A calls that the Insta-Savvy tribe has, it's all peppy and fun. I bring that energy into them, and that's part of who I am, and that's part of what my brand represents, okay? So that's basically what I mean when I say, you have to interject your personality into your brand. So figure out different ways that you can do it, and you'll be able to, bring in those key aspects of your personality that make you different. And once you fuse that into your brand, it makes your brand naturally very different from your competition as well. So this is super, super important, okay? Now, the 5th thing is to look the part. It's as simple as that, guys. So, once you figure out your brand identity, okay, that who you are, what you do, your personality, and all of those things, and you finished fusing it into your brand as well, you've got to look the part, okay? You can't one day show up as a fun, quirky person, and then the next day you show up as a very mellow person who, probably gothic or something completely the opposite. It doesn't work like that. You have to consistently show up as yourself, okay? Your authentic self. Yes, there will be days where you're serious, but that there needs to be that bottom line personality that you bring to the table. That is you. That is authentically you, okay? So that's what I want to say. If you are, a very serious person and that's the tone that you like to carry, by all means, guys, go ahead and continue with that tone, and that's the audience that you will attract as well. It's good. There are some people who resonate better with people who are very formal and very serious. There are other people who resonate with people like who are quirky and fun and have a witty sense of humor. So it really depends on what your audience is attracted to, and you will be naturally attracting the audience that you feel comfortable with, right, at the end of the day, because your personality and their personality will gel, given that they are attracted to your personality as well. So putting your authentic self out there is always the best way to go. If you are a serious person, if you are a formal person, and you suddenly start infusing quirky and fun ways, force yourself to be that way, it's only going to harm your brand, to be honest with you, extremely honest with you. So put yourself exactly the way that you are. And it's hard because I feel like there's a certain rawness to that, and there's a certain insecurity that, okay, well, people like me for who I am. Trust that they will. Trust that you will attract the people who really resonate with your brand, and inject your personality and show up as who you are. Okay, look the part. Don't shuffle between different personalities because you are confused about what people will like or what people like at that moment. That's not how it works, okay? So to be known as you need to be very firm on the kind of person that you are showing up as. So that's my 5th tip. And if you guys are interested, I actually have like a step-by-step worksheet for you to fill out that will help you go through this entire branding process, and there's a small checklist at the end of that worksheet as well. It's completely free, it's just a click and you'll get it as a download. So if you are interested, I'll put the link in the description box below, okay? Now, the 6th point is to figure out colors that represent you as a person, especially when you're going with branding. Colors, yes, they do form a part of it, though it's not the only part of it. One part of it is your personality, your values, mission, which is what we've tackled until now. And once you figure that out, you'll be able to figure out colors that represent you. And for me, my brand has teal, yellow, and black. And each of these colors actually means something. They're not just random colors that I picked. Okay, each of these actually represents something. For me, I don't know, just for me explaining it to you, for me, the teal represents the passion that I have for what I do. The yellow represents the energy that I bring to the table, and the black refers to the professionalism that I carry my work out. Okay, so each of these colors mean something to me, and you can find colors that mean something to you and resonate with your personality, bring them to the table. A good way to do this, I guess, would be to go online, go to Google, check out what each color means. And colors actually mean something. I don't know if you guys know, but each color represents a certain feeling, a certain emotion behind it. So figure out the emotions that you want your brand to evoke, and you can find a color that aligns with it, or it can even just mean a color that means something to you. That's it. It's as simple as that, guys. As long as you know what it is, it's perfectly okay. And you need to keep using those colors because those colors define who you are, and they define what your brand means. So you need to not only get people to associate with your personality, you need to start getting people associated with your brand colors as well. Okay? So that is number 6. And number 7 is show up. You just have to show up. If you, as an online coach, if you are not showing up your face and showing up as your authentic self, it's going to be very hard for people to trust you, for people to understand who you are. And I don't know if you recognize this, but a huge part of online coaching is that them trusting you to handle their needs, to figure out their problem, and to find solutions to their problem. And they can't trust you if they don't know who you are. It's as simple as that, right, guys? So showing up as your authentic self, it doesn't matter which platform you are on. You could be a podcaster, you could be on Instagram, you could be on Facebook. You need to show up. You need to show your face. You need to show your personality. You need to show your body language. You need to show your quirks, your fun parts, your serious side, whatever it is, your thoughts, your morals, your values, all of those things. You need to be able to show people so that they resonate with who you are and they start building that connection with you. Okay, so that was my 7th point, and that actually brings me to the end of this episode. Let me just recap everything that I just said, all the 7 points, so that we're clear on it on both ends. Okay, the first one that I did talk about was figuring out who you are and what you do, your brand mission, vision, values, and your story. Figuring out your story. Number 2, what do you want to be known for? Okay, what is the first thing that you want people to think of when they see you or your brand? Number 3, defining your audience. What personality do you want to attract? Who are they? Why would they want to be invested in you specifically as compared to your competition or your industry leaders? Number 4, interjecting your personality into your brand. Figuring out what your personality is, being that authentic self, and then infusing that into your brand. Number 5, looking the part. You need to figure out your brand identity. And number 6 is figuring out the colors that represent you, your brand, and making sure that people associate those colors with you. So keep repeating those colors everywhere you are, on your website, on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you are, making sure that those colors are you. And number 7, showing up as your authentic self, your personality, your body language, your quirks, your face. All of those are it doesn't look like I can talk today. Okay, but showing up as your authentic self helps people, associate trust with you. Okay, so make sure that you guys are doing that. I do have a worksheet and a small checklist for you, a worksheet that goes through this entire episode, bit by bit, step by step, and then you can fill it out yourself. It's a fillable PDF. There's a small checklist at the end as well, so that you are absolutely on point with your branding every single time you show up. Alright guys, that brings me to the end of this episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are watching this on YouTube, feel free to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, because that tells you every single time I do upload a video. I do upload a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you are listening to this on any of the platforms for podcasts, feel free to leave me a review if this resonated with you. That really helps me with my ranking, and I get to help more and more online coaches such as yourself with your online marketing strategies. Alrighty guys, this is quite an episode, but I'm pretty sure that the worksheet and the checklist will really help you work through this episode. Like I said, this episode might be only 30 minutes long, but it's going to take you a lot longer than that to actually implement this. And I know, I'm pretty confident that you'll be able to, okay guys? I'll put the links in the description box below. And yeah, that's about it guys. I'll catch you in my next episode. Bye-bye.